In Chicago, you know that all sports rock. The Bears, Hawks, Bulls, Cubs, and Sox. Pick your favorite, you can choose. As long as the Packers lose. For everything you need to know, it's Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. This is your hosts, Alex and Sean. On this episode, we're going to be talking about departures from the Bears, White Sox and Cubs right before pitchers and catchers report, Blackhawks and Bulls, and more. But first, I'd like to thank our sponsor, the Rockford Ice Hogs. If you're not familiar with the Rockford Ice Hogs, they're the AHL to the Chicago Blackhawks. What does that mean for you? You get to see the stars of tomorrow today at family-friendly, affordable prices. The season is going on right now, so make sure you head on over to icehogs.com. Get yourself a hat, shirt, jersey, tickets, and more. Tell them Swerski Sports sent you. Alex, my friend, how are we doing on this fine Sunday afternoon?
Well, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. Everything is peachy. You know who's not doing fine right now? The Bulls.
No.
They're
They're
down by 50.
yeah, they're not doing so hot.
No.
But the one thing I can say is that a certain 5'8" Bulls player won a jump ball against a 6'5" player.
Woo.
Uh, the funny part about the Bulls being blown out by like 50 and there's still 7 minutes left in the game is that it's a team that's not like record wise is like right in their ballpark. It's not
And-
like they're getting
yeah.
blown out by the best team in the league. Like
No,
they're getting
no.
blown out by a team that is two more wins than they do. They're a game and a half better.
This is your preview of the playing tournament this year. Right here. And not only is it going to be Bulls Heat, it's going to be Bulls Heat with the Heat up by 50. There's your playing tournament preview.
Yeah. They're the Bulls are toast.
I mean, they've
Toast.
they've been toast for how long now? How long?
But don't worry, they added 2 second-round picks.
Whoop-dee-doo. Those are about as those are about as useful as $1 lottery tickets at your local 7-Eleven, if even that. I had trouble coming up with something that it was worth there. I mean, it's just and you've been hearing rumors this past week about how, oh, well, the Bulls are encouraged by their recent play and be looking to add. I just there's no point in rooting for this team. There's just not. There's not. We enjoyed the 6-0 start or whatever it was, and you knew it wasn't going to last, so you milked every bit you can get out of it. And then the Bulls realized that they were the Bulls. And you have lost to the Pacers 3 times. How many wins do the Pacers have? Like 13, 14?
Um, Not that many.
Not many. And three of their wins are against the Bulls. Three of them. The Bulls are 0-3
They have
versus Indiana this year.
13 wins.
13 wins. So 3 of 13 wins are against the Bulls. The Bulls have lost all those games.
Yeah. Yeah. And they just traded for a player who is averaging 1 point per game, 1.2 rebounds per game, and 0.4 assists, 0 blocks, 0 steals on the season.
Value. Right?
That's
True
what they
value.
got.
Yeah, true value.
But those
True
second
value.
round picks,
Hey, that's a lot, man. For AK, though, that's like the equivalent of him finding the fountain of youth. You know he doesn't get draft picks
oh my God.
unless they're second rounders.
Yeah, this Bulls team is hopeless. Like I don't know like what you do here. I mean, you've got 5'8" Yuki playing, and this team is is a disaster. Like I don't even know what to say anymore. But I
What
think
can you
Patrick,
say? We've been saying the same thing for a decade plus,
yeah,
and yet nothing has changed. So, how many rebuilds have we been through? We traded away Jimmy Butler. What was it, 2017? You trade away Jimmy Butler, and you go forward with the Lauri Markkanen and the Zach LaVine era, and that doesn't really go anywhere. And then you bring in AK, and you're like, okay, we're gonna switch this up a little bit. You bring in DeMar DeRozan, you bring in Ball, you go ahead and I think they got rid of Lauri Markkanen before, but he was gone, and then you make these changes. You make a playoff quote run 1 year where you win one game against the Bucks, and that's it. And then it's just been stuck in hell. And you tried to win with Levine and Vooch and DeMar DeRozan, and it doesn't work. It doesn't really go anywhere. And then you're resetting again.
yeah, and you're just like you're spending enough money where you aren't able to. Let me backtrack here. The NBA salary cap is a myth because you could just spend whatever you want, really. Um, and the Bulls won't. They won't go beyond the the threshold. They're not gonna pay that money. They're gonna spend up to the real cap, and that's it. And they're spending that money. But if you look, they're nowhere near the top spenders, and you need to in order to be good.
But they're not going to do it. They're not going to
No.
do it. And in honest to goodness, you're in Chicago. You have a massive fan base. The United Center is packed every single night. And yet, despite all that, you say to yourself, why would a star come here? Why would they come here if they have a chance to go to Boston or Los Angeles or Golden State? Why would they come here?
So if you rank this all of the NBA teams for the 2025-2026 NBA team payrolls, out of 30 teams, where do you think the Bulls stand?
18?
23rd.
Wow.
23rd.
They're not even in the top 20.
No.
Wow.
No. Um and there's three teams that are just way below everybody else. It's the Nets, the Jazz, and the Wizards.
Which is no surprise.
But of the other 27 teams, the Bulls are like twice as close to the bottom as they are to the top. And they're $47 million below the top spender in 1 year.
That's a huge gap.
That is a huge gap. But these teams are going to spend the money to have to win basketball games.
Who's the top spending team right now?
Cleveland.
Cleveland. Okay.
Um,
Think about that. Cleveland. Look what Cleveland is spending compared to you. What other sports is Cleveland outspending this city? They ain't outspending the Cubs. The Guardians certainly aren't. Think the Browns invest infrastructure like other top teams do? No.
it's just it's really sickening. Um, it just like these you've got to spend money or have like these incredible draft picks that are still on rookie contracts.
Well,
Um,
you don't. What, Dalen Terry?
like you're the Bulls, like you're spending a lot of money on Vooch and Giddy and like
And
it's
Patrick Williams, barf.
Patrick Williams is a doo-doo sandwich.
That's an insult to doo-doo sandwich.
It is. It really is.
I mean, think about it. He was a top four pick. He was a top four pick, and I believe it was AK's first pick with the Bulls, wasn't it? That was his first year.
Yes.
He drafted Patrick Williams. And hey, at the time, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Well, he's 19. He doesn't have much experience playing here, starting here. But I wanted to believe that this guy knew the intangibles. He knew what we was looking at. He was going to have a system and a development plan in place for him. And he might be the worst NBA player to have a contract like that, where you're not a rookie, you're not some two-way G League guy. Like for a guy that is making substantial money, he has got to be at the very bottom of players in the NBA.
He's terrible. But he might end up with a double-double today.
Oh, cool! In a 50-point loss. That's great. Wow. You know what? You've completely changed my outlook on him. Wow. Dang. I take back what I said. Not.
Uh, I mean, you could have had Tyrese Halliburton in that draft.
Yeah, I know. I know. Remember what Tyrese Halliburton did last year with the Pacers? They went to the brink of a championship. And they would have won it too if he didn't get hurt. I'm almost certain of that. If Halliburton does not go down, I truly believe the Pacers would have won it all.
Uh,
I remember watching Tyrese Halliburton, my brother, dad, and I 2 years ago. We do our daily, our yearly, not daily, our yearly Bulls game, and that one that we went to was against the Pacers, and it was one where Tyrese Halliburton just went off, and I'm like, damn, this kid is good. I wish we had something like this.
could have.
And I realized, yeah, we could have. We could have. We could have had him. Could have been a
Yeah,
bull.
I'm looking at a 2020 NBA redraft, and the right player was chosen number one, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Then number two, Tyrese Halliburton. Three is Tyrese Maxey, and then four is LaMelo. Bulls would have had LaMelo.
Better than what we have, right?
I mean, we have Patrick Williams. He has the best hair in the NBA.
Okay.
We paid that guy a lot of money.
Before he was even proven. And the worst part is how many people, and maybe I was guilty of this at the time. I honestly don't remember because I've kind of blocked it out of my memory. But, after 2, 3 years, no, just give it time. Just give it time. Okay, well, we gotta pay him all this money to keep him around. And clearly the juice is nowhere near worth the squeeze. It's not. And you're paying that contract on a payroll this low. That's what's really insulting about it.
Yeah, like it's so frustrating. This team is bad,
There is
and
no light at the end of the tunnel with this team. There's not.
AK deserves to be fired. I mean, I I take that back. I will say we don't know what constraints he's under, but even with constraints, he's making the wrong decisions. So I'll go back to my original point. AK deserves to get fired, but he's not going to get fired.
How many years did we say that with Gar and Pax?
The crazy part is if they fired AK, what would be the odds that they would re-put John Paxson back in as GM?
Hmm. That'd be a total thing for them. Well, he's learned a few things. He's sat back and he's learned this and learned that and blah 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 blah
We
blah.
look at the track record of his drafting, and he's been so loyal to the organization that he's the man for the job.
We
and
remember
he
we
accepts
drafted Snell.
accepts MasterCard, Master Charge, and a traveler's checks as payment.
He also eats all the popcorn that Benny the Bull sprays everywhere so it doesn't go to waste. Picks it right off the floor after every game.
Benny the Bull holds his legs while he walks on his hands and puts his face to the ground and eats all of the trash. I need to learn how to make AI make that.
That's a horrifying image. That is just terrifying.
We thought it was fun and games until we had John Lackey and Buttercup at the game.
Sorry, Buttercup's making apples everywhere.
Don't worry, Johnny Pax will pick him up.
Ew. Hey, I mean, we don't know what he does on a daily basis. For all we know, this could be true. He's still part of the organization. We mentioned this last week.
What do you think he does all day?
Yucks it up with Michael Reinsdorf. You remember this time and that time? And the sad thing about John Paxson is he was a very big part of the first era of that dynasty. He hit the game-winning shot in, what was it, 93?
Yeah.
He was a crucial part of that dynasty. And he should always be remembered very fondly as a player and what he did for that dynasty. And, he had his moments, I guess, as, the head basketball decision maker of the organization. But, overall, it's like, look, Jordan left. Jerry Krause left. You've made one Eastern Conference final since. You haven't been to the NBA Finals since Jordan. 2011 was the only time you made a conference final since then, and you lost in 5 games. Otherwise, well, you made it to the second round a few times. 2015. Were there any other times they made it to the second round? 2013, and the Heat destroyed them. 13, they made it to the second round. 15, they made it to the second round. 11, obviously, they made it to the conference finals. Were there any other times? 2006.
Yeah.
2006 when they beat the Heat. I think that's it. Yeah. So 06, 11, 13, 15. Those are the only times I could think of. And 11 and 15 were really the only times where they made it to the second round and you had a legit shot of making a run. Besides, the Jordan era. I'm talking about after the Jordan era. So, you had 2 years, 11 and 15, where you legitimately had a shot at a run. I mean, 2013, they won that series in 7 games against the Nets, and the Heat were going to destroy them. They didn't even have Derrick Rose. And then 06, obviously, they won that first playoff round, and then they weren't going anywhere after that. 2012, he could have done something, but then Rose tore his ACL, and that ended that dream. But, I mean, just the point being is, since the Jordan dynasty, you've truly accomplished nothing. I mean, at least the Bears since 1985, at least they made it back to a Super Bowl since. Can't say the same thing about the Bulls since their last championship. Nothing close.
No. This is the ultimate. There needs to be a change in ownership.
Yeah, I mean, this brand is too important to sports, to the city, to basketball. Chicago Bulls brand is too important.
They're just a mad team. They're not a laughing stock. They're not good. Just people are like, oh, hey, oh yeah, I forgot about the Bulls. Forgot the Bulls existed.
But here's the thing is, they're not a laughing stock in terms of the laughing stock we know typically of a sports team. It's not like, oh, they're the, 12-win Tim Floyd era Bulls, but they're also a laughing stock in another sense, in the sense of they have no direction and they continue to make people laugh with their delusion and stupidity. And that's the worst laughing stock of all when you don't have a future.
Yeah,
It sucks.
there's no they are years away from competing.
You can't even put a number on it.
That it is they're gonna have to sink to the bottom because there's no way for them to where they are right now. There's no way for them to go to the top without going to the bottom first.
No, you need to have like a Pistons, like remember how bad the Pistons were 3 years ago? It's like you need to get to that level. And
It,
honestly,
yeah, you have to get to the bottom.
yeah, and honestly, if you look at what the Bulls are now, because we talk about the relevancy in the city, but we also talk about the attendance. I mean, truly, it feels like Bulls games, because they have such good entertainment value, they're really more of a, it's really more of a night out than like a relevant team in the city. You know what I mean? It's like
They re
you're going to Bulls games for the entertainment value, but who outside of going to games, I don't know that many people who religiously watch the Bulls these days. I just don't. Every like Chicago sports fan I talk to, I haven't watched much. I haven't watched in a long time. I'll see people on social media following it and covering it, and whether that's our guy Big Dave or C Red Fred or any other diehard fans out there, my brother. But a lot of the casuals, they're not watching.
it's like why I have to pay money to watch that? Like
Well, yeah, especially now with the new channel for things being different. They're not on WGN anymore.
yeah, it's like before I could like all right, I'll just turn it on for a little bit, and now it's like oh I have to pay for it and then actively sit down and watch it. Nah, nah, I'm good.
Because one of the worst things is when you know that you need to lose in order to win at this point. And whenever I see the Bulls on TV, in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, I'm kind of rooting for them to lose, and you don't want to do that. Watching day in, day out, where you're just like, I don't really want them to win. It's different in my opinion when we watched the Bears in 2022 when they were tanking because we knew that there was an end game there. And you know that the NFL is the NFL. It's a very fundamentally different game than basketball, where even in the tanking year, the first year Ryan Poles in 2022, where we weren't expecting wins, you had some well fought games by a team that wasn't good, that wasn't supposed to be good. But like I said, there was an end game. You're thinking here, okay, I don't want them to win. Losses give them a better chance, but because it's a lottery and they're never going to lose enough games, what's the point of rooting for them to lose when they're probably not even going to get a high draft pick anyway if they lose a number of games? You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just this team is a disaster. We're on a we're driving in a fog with no destination.
Yeah, the fog.
Like I mean, really, it's like what is their pathway to be good? Is
Rig the draft and get the number one pick. That's how you do it.
and that's just not realistic. So they're not going to get the number one pick, and they're not going to bring in high price free agent. They don't have they don't have enough value to trade to get a top
They could
player.
trade for Giannis.
They're not going to trade for Giannis.
I know.
So it's I don't know what it is that they'll do to be good. Like they're gonna, Vooch is gonna be gone at some point, and I guess they'll have that flexibility with but you're not gonna bring in a top guy.
No, of course not.
It's like where do you go? You're literally going to have to just trade everybody away for expiring contracts, bring in a bunch of crappy players on rookie deals, G League guys, 1 year deals, tank miserably, and then get a guy that you can build around, and then use all that cap space you have from all expiring deals, and then just throw stupid amounts of money at any player that is decent that's going to be available. Like it's and that's still a prayer and that's a fart in the wind too. Like there's not a good path.
No, there's not. And I mean, when you think about it too, one of the biggest problems that we face is the fact that your team does have like 3 and 4 type guys on a team. Because I think Buzelis is a very talented dude. I think Josh Giddey, he's really grown on me as a player. He's a really, really good player. But there's no way in hell you're saying either of those guys are the main foundational building block for what should be a championship roster. They're not.
Yeah, I'm even looking at the free agents next year. All right, 41-year-old LeBron James. Is that where you're gonna go?
Hell no.
Porzingis, 30-year-old Porzingis. Kobe White. Oh wait, he's your guy. Okay.
I like Kobe White, but I mean, I think you got to trade him at this point. Get what value you can. Because I like him, but I don't want to overpay him next year. Right?
No, of course not. You don't want to pay him a shit ton of money. But that's a Bulls move.
Of
We don't want
course it is.
we don't want to lose him.
Correct. Them overpaying for Kobe White is 100% a Bulls move.
James Harden's a free agent.
Oh yeah, that'll fix things.
We're gonna bring in LeBron James and James Harden.
It's going to be Rajon Rondo and Dwayne Wade 2.0.
We're gonna bring in Draymond Green too.
Make things a little spicy.
And then we're gonna bring Vooch back. Our whole starting roster will be 35 years old or more.
But we want to get younger and more athletic. Do you remember that line? Do you remember when, was it Gar that said that? And
Yes.
then they went on to sign Dwayne Wade at the end of his rope and Rajon Rondo.
It was so classic. Like, yeah, we want to get younger and more athletic. Signs two old guys. And nailed it.
See, I told you, younger and more athletic. It was opposite day. Like, come on.
I meant younger and more athletic than me. Garpax.
So, literally anybody with a pulse on a basketball court?
Gar Foreman is like, yeah, everybody younger than me is younger and more athletic.
Whatever happened to Gar?
I wonder, what is Gar Foreman doing right now?
Because he never got hired as a GM afterwards, right?
Why would he?
Well, yeah. Like, I'm sure he worked for some organization, but I don't know what he did or what his title was or, where he went.
Is his real name Gar? Like, is that short for something?
I have no idea.
Like, I can't imagine him being in the hospital when he's born, and they're like, "What are you naming him?" Gar Foreman.
I mean, it kind of sounds like a Viking name, right? Or a pirate name, Gar. It's got to be short for something.
I don't know. I'm on Wikipedia right now, and they're not saying that he has a full name. They're just calling him Gar Foreman.
Hmm. What does it say he's up to now?
That's what I'm looking for. He's the son of Ken and Janet Foreman. What the hell was Janet thinking? Janet? Janet Foreman? My son
Gar.
Gar?
Gar. Gar, matey.
What is Gar Foreman doing now? Currently serves as a special advisor for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Hmm. That says a lot.
He focuses on scouting, likely at the college level, for Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations David Griffin and former GM Trajan Langdon. Hmm.
And how are they doing? How's that franchise shaping up?
Uh, I mean, they've got Gar Foreman. So, do they need anything else?
Clearly not.
Uh, the New Orleans Pelicans. They're 13 and 38.
Yeah, things are going great.
They got the Gar touch.
Trust the Gar touch. Blah.
Oh man.
Do you
Bills.
remember? I'll never forget this. Do you remember it was 2016 and the Bulls missed the playoffs? It was the end of the Rose era. They were going to trade him, and Butler, and there was a lot of tension in that locker room. Noah, Rose, Butler, a lot of things going on and whatnot. And I want to say it was a Thursday or Friday night, and it was the end of the season. It was the night where there was a Blackhawks playoff game, Kobe Bryant's last game where he scored 60 points. Both the Cubs and Sox were playing.
Is this when they made the like the press conference like
Yes.
late at night?
Yes. Yeah, the end of year presser. During the timing that was so obvious. You remember that, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I remember I remember exactly where I was sitting. I was in the basement watching, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I was like, "Wait, did the Bulls really do this? Did they really do this?"
All they said was accountability, accountability, accountability. And what accountability is there ever with the Bulls?
None
None.
ever.
None. Because it doesn't matter to them.
They're still gonna make money because corporations own those tickets, and they're gonna keep buying them.
Well, and that's the other thing, too. I mentioned the entertainment value and the people going to go. There is also a lot of those corporate tickets that are getting sold. Yes, that is a good point.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is they're gonna keep like the Bulls and the Bulls and the Blackhawks have a lot of season ticket holders that are corporations. And the Blackhawks are trying to win, I think. I think. But the Bulls just have no incentive. They don't care.
I mean,
Jerry
yeah,
wants to make a profit, and profit is over anything else.
the Blackhawks have an end game. The Bulls don't. And that's the big thing. And the Blackhawks have an asset where they are going to be top of the league great with in terms of Connor Bedard's skill. The Bulls don't. Pure and
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah, I mean the Blackhawks, sure, there's a long way to go for them to get to the top, but there's a path.
Right.
There's like a legitimate path where you say, yes, like the players that we expect to be good, if they progress like they're expected to, this will be a very, very good team for a number of years. The Bulls, you can't say that.
No, you can't. Not at all.
I mean, best case scenario is Matas takes this huge step forward.
And he
Like,
can take a step forward, but to the level of a
no. I'm
top.
talking about like a Giannis step forward.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck
And
with
that,
that.
yeah, and
That's a tall task.
that is a very tall
Pun
task.
intended.
It's just not a realistic one.
No.
And that's not a knock on him. Like I think he's going to be a very good player. It's just to take that Giannis leap where he went just to like elite level. Like that would have to be the path. And
Right.
it is so far from reality.
No, you can't bank on that.
And even if he does, you're going to get a similar situation in Milwaukee where they don't want to spend to build around him, and then he's going to eventually want to leave and without a title.
Oh, you won a title.
Oh yeah, he did. He did.
But I think that if the Bucks would have played it better, they could have won multiple titles.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
feel like
they have the
they
best
left
player
it,
in the
but
world on their team. They should have won more titles.
yeah, and I mean they did make some moves, for like Halliday, but they did have injuries, but yeah, after a while, like, things fell apart. They didn't have as many draft assets. Guys got older and hurt, and now they're probably going to be disassembling here, trading Giannis eventually, and completely retooling. But you know what? Would it surprise you if the Bucks trade away Giannis, completely tore it down, and then rebuilt before the Bulls did? Wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, I mean, with the assets you'll get for Giannis, and with all the cap you'll have space you'll have, and just being bad, you're gonna get a top pick, and then you're gonna have multiple picks. Yeah, I would. That would literally be the least shocking thing I've seen in the NBA is
Hmm.
for a Giannisless Bucks to get back into contention before the Bulls.
Right. It would almost be expected for me at that point. But
Uh, can we talk a little Bears?
sure.
Um, so the the hiring cycle is starting to die down.
Hmm.
And man, was it a very active year.
It was an active year in a season which the pool didn't start great, and then it got more intriguing, and then it was kind of just all over the place. I mean, you had some big news out of the NFC North this week, outside of just the coaching hirings.
Uh, I mean, for the Bears, well, for Packers, you lost multiple coaches. For the Bears, you lost multiple coaches. For
The Vikings
the
fired their
Vikings fired their
GM.
GM and kept their coach, which that's a weird move. I don't like that move unless it's like absolutely warranted. And I don't know. In this case, it depends on what happened in the background, like who was in charge of letting Sam Darnold go.
Well, and I've read that there was a lot of internal tension after all of that. I mean, remember, this guy assembled a team just a year ago, won 14 games, and got an extension recently. They were able to assemble a really good roster, and then you let Sam Darnold walk. But now here's the thing. Predicting Sam Darnold going off and going to the Super Bowl, I don't think a lot of people had. I didn't. I kind of thought that Sam Darnold might be a bit of a one-year wonder, but to his credit, he proved me wrong. But if you want to say the process of drafting JJ McCarthy where you did might be questionable at this moment, sure, maybe that is. And, maybe in a year or so you're saying different things about JJ McCarthy if he's healthy and he gets more time to play. But, I mean, right now, there's a lot of questions on who is going to be the quarterback next year for the Vikings. I'm not saying that either if it's going to be McCarthy or not that he's going to leave, but you might have another QB1. And I don't know if you're going to draft somebody. I don't know if you're going to bring somebody in. But there's going to be a lot of figuring out there. And what's interesting about the timing of all this is he was at the Senior Bowl. He was at the Senior Bowl. He was doing his due diligence at the Senior Bowl, looking at guys, answering questions for people. And the next thing you know, boom, he's gone. And guess what? Right around the corner, here comes the combine. Here comes the draft. And they're not going to hire anybody until after the draft. So a lot of weirdness here. Like you said, a very weird situation.
Which means that their head coach will be the de facto GM.
It's the head coach and whoever they said the assistant is the current interim GM, so to speak. But I mean, I don't think Kevin O'Connell's the problem there by any means. I think
No,
he's a
no, I'm
very
not
good
saying
head
that. I
coach.
just really hate the idea of a coach being the de facto general manager. Like there's way too much responsibility and work that goes into it to wear both hats. And Bill Belichick was good as a head coach. He was terrible as a GM. He was a terrible GM.
No, but his what should have been first ballot Hall of Fame vote would have been for coach, certainly not as a GM for the work that he did there. But for all the wins on the field, it definitely was and should have been. But we know that didn't happen.
Yeah, and when you talk about like the Vikings potentially getting a quarterback, they're drafting 18 right now.
Hmm.
Like, that's not conducive for getting a starting quarterback.
No, I mean not out of the draft. I wonder if you elect the veteran route. I don't really know who's available. I mean, there could be someone willing to trade. Do you pay a lot of money to Malik Willis? Is that an option?
I I mean Malik Willis was terrible in Tennessee.
He
And,
was,
and
but
in spots he was good for the Packers. I don't I don't know if I trust him to pay him.
I don't either. But I just wonder if his abilities and Kevin O'Connell's track record of working with other quarterbacks. Say what you will about McCarthy, they barely work together because McCarthy's always hurt. But you saw what they did with Sam Darnold. You saw what he was able to do with an aging Kirk Cousins. So maybe they see something there. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But I mean, who else would even be available in terms of free
I
agents?
It might be a reunion of Kirk Cousins.
Well, yeah. I mean, he got out of his Falcons deal. Do you bring him in for 1 year?
I There's worse things.
Yeah. I mean, if what is he, 40 now? Kirk Cousins?
39, 40, somewhere around there.
I mean, if you do that, if you go the bridge route, you do have to kind of accept, though, that you're not going all out this year. And I don't think Justin Jefferson is very happy right now.
No, but I mean, he clearly isn't happy with JJ McCarthy
No,
because he just
he's
made
made,
another comment
yes,
about Sam Darnold.
yes. He's very openly saying that he's not happy with the situation. I mean, you remember the games against the Bears when the Bears beat them, what was it, 19-16 in Minnesota? Remember how frustrated he was visibly getting on the field?
Can I read you the list of free agent quarterbacks?
All right, let's hear it.
Daniel Jones, who is going to miss a big chunk of the season.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, who's 42.
He might go back to the Steelers with Mike McCarthy if he keeps playing.
I don't think he goes anywhere but Pittsburgh.
I agree. If he still plays.
Yeah, it's either Pittsburgh or retire. I
Agreed.
don't think there's anywhere else.
Agreed. 100%.
Russell Wilson, Marcus Mariota, Zach Wilson, Tyrod Taylor, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Jimmy Garoppolo, Mitchell Trubisky,
Oh, let's go.
Case Keenum, Trey Lance, Brandon Allen, Josh Johnson, Carson Wentz, Malik Willis, Kyle Allen, Teddy Bridgewater, John Wolford, Tyler Huntley, Easton Stick, Brett Rippon, Gardner Minshew, Skylar Thompson, Hendon Hooker, Tommy DeVito, Sam Howell, Jake Browning, Connor Bazelek, Emory Jones, Sam Ellinger, and Jeff Driscoll.
Jeff
Who
Driscoll is still active?
who who is in that list is your bridge quarterback?
Could you imagine if they tried Russell Wilson?
That guy is cooked.
Oh, he is more than cooked. He's the burnt stuff on the pan that doesn't come off.
Like he sees ghosts. He is just cooked.
You said, obviously you said Daniel Jones, he's hurt. If Daniel Jones wasn't hurt, that I could actually see being like, okay,
But if he wasn't hurt, he's Indianapolis is gonna franchise him.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Um, and then obviously Kirk Cousins is gonna be in that list once he's officially released.
Right, right. Zach Wilson. Oof, no. Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting to see what they do because they still clearly have a contending type roster. And if Brian Flores is back, which it sounds like he's going to be, that defense is going to be great. It's going to give them a chance to win those games. But you look this year, the quarterback was the reason why they didn't make the playoffs because they were 9-8. They were able, without efficient quarterback play through much of the season, able to still get 9 wins.
Yeah, I mean they've got the roster is incredible. They are just literally a quarterback away,
Yes.
and they've screwed up a couple times, like letting Kirk Cousins go when he was playing so well, and he just fell apart after he left, and then letting Sam Darnold go. Like I don't know what you do here. I don't know if I trust giving Malik Willis the bag.
I mean, I'm not saying I would either, but is it something they strongly consider? I don't know.
I mean, you have to strongly consider everything. Like, I mean, just
Yes.
looking at this list, like this is a boo boo ass list. Like Daniel Jones is not an option. Uh, Aaron Rodgers probably not an option. Russell Wilson is just cooked.
No.
Um, maybe Marcus Mariota.
I mean, that is just the definition of we're not trying to win anything. We're just trying to have somebody with a pulse that can somewhat throw the ball.
I mean, I'm gonna throw a name out there that is that would be allow you to start games, win games with the talent around you. But if he loses out, you're fine. Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
I with Kevin Stefanski did really well. I think imagine him throwing to Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison
Mm-hmm.
with that defense behind him, like
Yeah. Beef up that line a little bit.
and Kevin O'Connell. Like I I think that might be their play. Is either I'm guessing Kirk Cousins is probably first because he's 37.
Is he
Um,
really only 37?
he's still that's old.
I
He's
mean, I
old. He's
know.
older than Russell Wilson.
I'm not saying that's young, but I just in my mind I thought he was like 40. But yeah, I mean, when you
Um,
mentioned Joe Flacco, that was one where I'm like, okay, that's not the most outlandish. If they built up a line, I mean, remember what he did to the Bears?
I mean, I'm guessing just out of the familiarity, it's Kirk Cousins, but I you could do worse with Joe Flacco because you know what? It's it's not an investment in the future. Like if JJ comes out and is the good JJ and just has huge growth in the off season, he being healthy, uh, it's and it doesn't impede him if he's good because it's a 40-year-old quarterback that's ahead of him. But if he stumbles or he just doesn't play well, that's your bridge. That's your bridge. You've got a Super Bowl contending defense. You've got talent on the offense, and you've got an offensive play caller. I just that is the definition of a bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Um, but for the first time in a long time, the Bears have lost multiple coaches and front office people in a positive way.
Yeah, although the Ian Cunningham thing is really fucking pissing me off. That is bullshit.
Yeah. So Ian Cunningham,
Bullshit.
the multi-year assistant uh, GM of the Chicago Bears, was hired away by Atlanta as their GM. But the reports are so there's a rule in place that if a minority executive becomes a GM in this league, that the team that helped bring him up, which in this case would be the Bears, would get to be compensated 2 third-round picks in the current draft. But the reports are because Atlanta hired a president of football operations in Matty Ice, they are not going to give the Bears the compensation. So Ian Cunningham is going to go as to be the GM, and the Bears are not going to get those 2 third-round picks.
And didn't Matt Ryan say that it's going to be the GM making the football decisions?
It was Matt Ryan and the owner of the Falcons. Both of them said the GM would. It's going to come down to what's in the contract.
Yeah, because isn't there still a possibility? I don't know if it was Greg Gabriel or Brad Biggs that said this,
It was
but
Greg Gabriel.
yeah, saying that it's not necessarily 100% dead, but the fact that this is even a debate, because regardless, it is a promotion for Ian Cunningham. He was an assistant GM. He's going to be the GM. And by all accounts of actual word of mouth from Matt Ryan, that the chief football decider is going to be the general manager, which is now Ian Cunningham.
I mean, if I'm the Bears, I send that clip directly to the commissioner. Like,
Hey,
listen. And Greg Gabriel has a point. It's going to come down to what's in the language of who has control of the roster. And if it
right.
says that he's got final control, then that contract goes to the NFL and it gets reviewed. Everybody's saying yes or no. I think it's probably based on, you know, like leanings of things, but we don't know anything official until the compensatory picks are awarded. And that's in early March.
hmm
And that's when we'll know for certain. But uh but if it's the case where he doesn't have control of the 53-man roster, then the Bears could have easily blocked that move and kept Ian Cunningham.
Which I can't blame them. I can't blame Ryan Poles for this. I really can't. It's just hard for me to, but it still sucks.
It does. It really does suck. Um, I I don't like it, and it. I think the whole reason that you put that in was to reward teams for hiring minority coaches and minority front office people. And if you do this, that makes it seem like that you're like, okay, well, if you're going to disincentivize that, then we're we're just going to stop doing it. Like we're not, it makes the program worthless if you don't hold up your end of the bargain.
Right.
He was hired as a general manager. It's not like they had him as on this team for multiple seasons. He's interviewed for multiple years for a GM job. And the Bears could really use those 2 third-round picks.
They absolutely. Those are not nothing.
No. But now the Bears don't have an assistant GM. And I wonder, I wonder what they're going to do. I mean, I guess if they want to hire internal, Jeff King probably gets promoted. But I would like
That's what
to,
I've heard.
um, I would like to see Ryan Poles get somebody very strong in there that complements him well.
Well, this goes for multiple points, not just the GM, but for losing the coaches, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I'm glad that no matter what, one of the big football minds in that building is Ben Johnson.
Yes.
I feel much better knowing that he is not only a part of that, but like he is the alpha of that organization. He is the one that is going to identify things that he knows he needs. He is the guy that I think everybody looks up to in that building. The minute they hired him, you knew he was going to be the alpha in all this. And I mean, that's been more or less confirmed. We're confirming what we already know. But that puts a lot of ease, not only with losing Ian Cunningham, having another voice in the building, but with the number of coaches that were lost and we knew that this was going to happen. We knew the poaching was going to be a thing.
I mean, we knew, and uh, and some of these were not so surprising. Like Ian Cunningham, we've known we were going to lose at some point or another. Um, Eric Bieniemy leaving, not surprising.
No.
Um, but Declan Doyle, I knew we would lose at some point. I was surprised that it was this soon.
It's a year early than I thought we were going to lose him. And it looked like for a hot minute that they weren't going to lose him. And then Baltimore swooped in.
Yeah, he turned down the offer for the interview from the Eagles, and
Right.
I wonder what was different, what changed his mind.
Maybe he liked, what's the new Ravens coach now?
Minter?
Minter. Maybe he wanted to work with him more than he wanted to work with Nick Sirianni. Maybe he wanted to coach with Lamar Jackson more than Jalen Hurts.
Maybe he hears the rumors about Jalen Hurts uh and AJ Brown and is like, I don't want any part of that.
There's some weird stuff with Philly, man. I mean, for an organization that has been like model top tier in terms of roster building and success over the past decade, this is a franchise that since 2017 has been to three Super Bowls and won two of them. And yet, it's just like there's some Nick Sirianni gives me the weirdest vibes, man. He really does.
He's got a punchy face.
And Eagles fans don't really care for him. And you notice, despite the fact that he's gotten to two Super Bowls and won a Super Bowl last year, 12 months ago, despite that success, you don't hear Nick Sirianni being talked about among the likes of Shanahan or McVay or Andy Reid or like any of those top dogs. You just don't. And it's weird. Philly's weird because there's all these weird bad vibes, and yet for all we know, next year they could win another Super Bowl. Like that's completely in the realm of possibility with how successful they've been.
But looping this back to the Bears. Um, so they've got at least two coaches and one front office person that they need to replace. And um and I think all of them are going to be interesting how they do this. We do know that the Bears hired Will Lawing, who was the offensive coordinator for Boston College. They hired him away before Declan Doyle left.
Wonder if they knew
Um,
something.
I wonder if the plan was to bring him in to replace Eric Bieniemy because that was like the worst kept secret. I think everybody knew that it was going to be Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, that's very possible. Yes.
Um, or if he was going to be some unnamed new position. They still haven't said what he's going to be. Um, but I'm curious to see what who will be this offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, because it's an interesting dynamic here because, normally we're looking at the Bears hiring an offensive coordinator, putting so much weight on it. But again, we have this comfort knowing that the architect of this whole scheme is your head coach, and he's not going anywhere.
Um, yeah, so it's it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I've heard Deuce Staley is potential for the Bears for the running back coach. Um, I've heard somebody mention Matt Forte, but he has no coaching experience. Um, and you start looking through. Uh, there was Tanner Engstrom, who was the Jets offensive coordinator. He was with Ben Johnson in Detroit, but then he got hired away by Atlanta to be their passing game coordinator. So you're like, okay, who's going to take the offensive coordinator? Who's going to be the running back coach? Um, Did they going to promote from within? Um, at least they're keeping Al Harris.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
keeping
that
Al Harris, they're keeping Antoine Randall L. So take that. And I don't think Antoine Randall L is going to be the next OC, not yet.
no, no, no. I don't think so either. Um, yeah, I'm curious how this goes. Um, but yeah, I mean, Deuce Staley, I think he was with Cleveland. So if with Cleveland's staff all gone, like that opens it up for him to go to the Bears. He was with uh Ben Johnson in Detroit for 2 years. So he's familiar with DeAndre Swift and Ben Johnson.
Hmm.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. And I mean they probably have to swoop in pretty soon because these openings are filling pretty fast.
Yeah, they are.
And we've got another LaFleur in head coach.
Is that Matt's brother?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yep.
So he's going to be what, the Cardinals head coach?
Yes.
God be with him, because the Cardinals. You want to talk about a mess? Just a depressing mess.
Um So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But the good thing is that we still have Ben Johnson here, and nobody interviewed our defensive coordinator for a head coaching job, so he's going to be around.
Yeah, I don't think Dennis Allen. The head coaching thing with Dennis Allen just was not a great result.
No, not at all. Not at all. Um, yeah, I mean that's really it for the Bears. Like this offseason is going to shape up for to be a wild one, I think.
I think so too.
I think you're going to see some big changes. Um, oh, and I I don't know what's going to happen, but Max Crosby is flirting hard with the Bears. It's pretty obvious. He's on podcasts glowing about Caleb Williams. He's glowing about Ben Johnson. Like the man's flirting with us, right?
Seems like it.
And based on a recent social media post, Myles Garrett seems to be wanting out of Cleveland, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I don't think he was happy with the off or the head coaching hire, and his defensive coordinator quit. Like Schwartz was still under contract. He just quit. What's wild is the Browns turned people off of that job because basically said, no, Schwartz is going to stay our defensive coordinator no matter who we hire. And and then they did all that and then he left. Man, the Browns are going to be a dumpster fire next year.
Weren't they already? Hey, but they have two Pro Bowl quarterbacks.
How how bad is everything that Shador Sanders is named the Pro Bowl? Like what a joke.
Seriously, what the hell?
But I mean, I think Miles Garrett is going to force his way out, and I think Max Crosby's just done. And man, that would be nice to have a Max Crosby. Like, I think he just sees what he like. I think he sees everything. He's like, look, this team is really good. I could help get them there, and I'm not going back to the Raiders. And I think the Raiders are done with him too. I think they're going to move on to the future. He's not the future. He's the present. They're building around an offensive minded head coach in Clint Kubiak. And I think they're just going to make that trade. And I think he makes a lot of money, but his signing bonus is already paid. So you're just paying his salary. And it's like 24 million or something, 25. Like it's expensive, but it's not out of reach. Just saying. Just saying.
Are you at all concerned about his age and some of the declining metrics where you kind of go, how much longer is he going to do this?
Max Crosby?
Yes.
I mean, he's 28.
Which is not old, old, but he's going to be 29 next year, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just asking. I mean, is there any projected concern you might have? I mean, if you were to plop him on right now, I'm certainly not going to complain.
no, I mean, I don't think he's going to cost that much because his contract is uh doesn't it's not a long contract. So you're getting the player. So you get him for 2 more years. Oh wait, sorry. No, that's what? Oh no, you get him for more than that. Never mind. Um, why is this seem Spotrex? Mm-mm-mm. So he's 30 million next year. 20, then he goes down. 29, 26 and a half, 27. So you get him for 4 years. So he is going to cost some money. But he's going to be 32 when that contract is over. And for a defensive end, I think that's still your prime. I mean, that's Miles Garrett is that age. He's like 31, 32. And look what he's doing.
Yeah, true. Again, I'm not saying I wouldn't be for it. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah. Miles Garrett's going to be 31 this year. So he's and he just broke the sack record. I think I think Max Crosby could just do incredible things. You just imagine he's just like I all I have to do is just get to the quarterback. Is this offense is gonna cook? Let me just get to the quarterback.
Yeah, boy, we
I
need that, man. We need that elite ability to get there no matter what it is. Whether you draft, sign, trade, just uh, get it here. What a difference it can make.
man, I'm just looking at this. How does this Miles Garrett contract work? His base salary next year is $1.3 million dollars.
There's got to be what, a bunch of like signing bonuses or incentives.
So let's see. So he got, how does this even work? Um, Da, 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 da. Trying to look at this. This just seems crazy here. Um, so it was a 5 year, $125 million contract, $100 million guaranteed, $43 million guaranteed at signing. Um, 20, so the cash breakdown or the cap breakdown. Here we go. Um, so he counts for the Browns at least. I don't know how this would work if you traded for him. For the Browns, counts next year as 24 million against the cap, then 29 the next year, 31 the year after, and then 65 million the year after that. And then 58 the year after that. And he's got 3 void years at the end of it.
Well, I would be more than willing to offer the Buckingham Fountain or Sears as much as I like them. If that's what it takes, maybe they do just exactly what it takes. But it's going to be interesting because it is a pretty pass rush heavy draft. Like there's a lot of talent in there, but you're also not drafting top 10 either. Not saying you couldn't get an effective pass rusher without drafting top 10, but ideally you'd want to have the chomp at the best one, and you're probably not going to have that. So there's a lot of decisions to be made here.
Um, I'm, I'm adding him to the Bears roster on over the cap. And good God, how this can't be right. Um, it doesn't add that much to their salary cap.
Are you doing like a calculator?
So on over the cap, you can add a player. So hold on, let me go back here. Calculator. He adds like $3.5 million to the Bears cap this year.
Hmm, that's interesting.
What about look at Max Crosby here? I think
It's got to be more, right?
Max Crosby is significantly more. Yeah, Max Crosby adds $30 million to your cap. Myles Garrett, the way that contract is structured, is he's significantly cheaper for you. Significantly.
Well, these are the things they're going to be going through this offseason. And I'm wondering how many contracts out there are going to get restructured because you do have some cap to maneuver through. And we've talked about this before, but I think that's going to be very interesting. I mean, as soon as free agency starts too, uh, you know, depending on who they bring in, it's going to answer some questions on, where they're going to be looking for in the draft. At least it'll give you a better idea because, there's already mock drafts going on. I'm like, man, I like waiting until after free agency to start looking at some of that stuff. I don't know about you, but I mean, I get scouting people and looking for ideal fits, but I am nowhere near ready to do a mock draft yet. That's just me, though.
Oh, I will do a mock draft for 2027 at this point.
Oh, I know you will. I know you will. And I respect you for that. I just don't have the patience for it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, nothing is realistic at this point. Like anything can change. Like so much can change. If they trade DJ Moore, that changes the entire dynamic. Or if they trade Cole Kmet, it changes the whole dynamic. If they add a Miles Garrett or a Max Crosby, that changes the whole dynamic. So I mean, at this point, you're just projecting based on that day what you're expecting things to look like, what you need, what's there, what's the value, and but the NFL teams don't do like good NFL teams will do their own mocks because they want to know who legitimately could be there based on what they think other teams will do, but they're not doing that for like until like 2 weeks before the draft. And because nothing is nailed down at all. Um, yeah, Miles Garrett, according to Over the Draft, if you add him, he adds $3.3 million to your cap this year.
You're just gonna have to pay a king's ransom to get him.
Yes, yes. And what did the Browns cap look like by trading him? Um, Calculator. If Miles Garrett, if you were to trade him, so currently they're $16 million over the cap. If you trade Miles Garrett, it goes to 33 million over the cap. I don't know if they can trade him. It adds $41 million of dead money.
Ooh.
And uh I mean only I don't know. Like they have a option on their trading a post 6-1 trade. Um that doesn't happen. I mean, it's not gonna happen until it really, but I guess it could, where you're like post 6-1 trade makes financial sense for them. Because then you spread that out over 2 years. Can you designate something as a post June one, or is that really? Because then it gives them they go from 16 over the cap to 7.8 over the cap. So it saves like nine something million dollars, eight something million dollars. Um, and then you can spread that out over 2 years.
As we're talking right now, Ryan Poles is doing the same exercise on Over the Cap and he's taking notes.
It's like, what do we do here? What happens? Um, yeah. Hmm.
Boy, I mean, I wonder if
So you can't designate. So with the cut, you can designate a player as a post June 1st, even if you're cutting them early. But
okay,
with a
okay,
post June 1 trade, it has to be on June 2nd or later.
okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay, got it.
So my birthday is June 2nd. What a birthday present for me if they traded Miles Garrett to the Bears. Because then it would be after the draft. So you would be trading for a 2027 draft pick. And I don't care about a 2027 draft pick. That doesn't matter to me until 2027.
Yeah, you get to that bridge when you're across that bridge when you get there.
Yeah. Hmm. What if what if the Bears trade away DJ Moore and then bring in Tyreek Hill and he revitalizes his career with Ben Johnson?
Hey, that'd be cool. I'd love it.
I love it. Love it. Uh, I don't know. I don't know how any of these things work. I don't know if Tyreek Hill is even going to play again.
Yeah, I don't know. I would not be surprised if he doesn't. I'd actually be more surprised if he did.
Um, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Wait, what does this say from um something about Yahoo News about this? Uh, Hill is scheduled to take up over $51 million of cap space, but the team can release him outright before the league year starts and save nearly $23 million. And then releasing him outright would trigger a dead cap charge of 28.248 million if he were not designated as a June 1st cut, which in that case the team needs to and should expect to do. Um, Here's the problem with any discussion about a post June 1 cut for Hill. Miami would not be able to access or get credit for any savings at all for Hill with a June 1st designation. Miami needs the cap space now. Da, 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 da. Well, they're going to cut him. We'll see how that goes. But who knows what Tyreek Hill even looks like next year. I'm
Hmm.
just looking at, I'm just there trying to think of wild, crazy things that the Bears could do to just make this team a juggernaut.
Well, you need to make one of those boards where you connect the pictures with the string.
You don't think I have one of those at every point around April, May, every year?
Yeah, you're probably right. You do.
March, April, May. It is just
Yeah,
me with string.
yeah, yeah. It's right next to your Greedo shrine, right?
My strings.
It's my strings, my yearly strings. It's the same strings you've been using for like 20 years, and they're all just beaten down and just
I'm like
completely.
I'm like Joyce with the Christmas lights in season 1 of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Gotta hang the Christmas lights. Don't take them down. Uh, all right. I want to move to the White Sox.
Yeah, they've been doing things.
So, do you know what my wife and I did last night?
What'd you do?
We went to White Sox Fest.
Did you really?
We did.
Is that the theater?
Yes. And it's wild. We literally drove up as like we got there right as they were starting, and the guy in front of us parked in front of the place. I was like, oh crap, that was our spot, like right in front of the place. He had Rockstar parking, so we had to loop around and park a block and a half away. Um, but like the theater's very nice. We had a good time. I bought a. They had blind bag signed baseballs with a player from that was an active player for the team between 2022 and 2025. That's were the parameters. And I bought a baseball. Do you know who I got?
Did you get Luis Robert?
I did not.
Did you get Eloy Jimenez? No,
I
he
got
wasn't there last year.
it would no any it was between 2022 and
Oh, it could have been
2025.
okay. It
Yeah.
could have been anywhere. Okay.
Yeah, in those couple seasons.
Was it Tim Anderson?
I got Tuki Toussaint.
Tuki Toussaint. Good for you.
I actually was kind of happy with it. I don't know who else, but I was like, I picked it up and it was really dark at the table and I didn't have my reading glasses on. I'm trying to read it and there was a lady that was just standing there and if you want, I can look at it by the signature and tell you probably who it is. And I was like, I would be appreciate that. And she held it and she goes, that would be Tuki Toussaint. And I was like, she's like, I'm 95% sure. And she's like, but if you log on to like the MLB like page, you can put in the code on there's like a hologram sticker on there with a code on there. If you put the code in, it will tell you. And it sure enough, it's Tuki Toussaint. So
Good for you.
I'm
Treasure
now
that.
going to put that in my office at work.
Yeah, next to your other Greedo shrine.
Yeah. So I got like they had a thing where you could make yourself into a baseball card and they put it in a hard plastic case. So I got a baseball card made of myself. Um it was fun. Uh like it was not very big, but like it was I mean it was like $30 compared to what's Cubs convention like 170.
A lot.
Yeah,
A lot. And they
it's
way
very expensive.
oversold too.
Yeah. Like this was not oversold and it was like $30 and you could straight park for free. And right like a couple of doors down from the place is this cute little diner and we had afterwards we went and got breakfast for dinner.
Hmm.
I got
Breakfast for
French
dinner is
toast.
good. Yum. Yum, yum, yum.
So, yeah, it was a good time.
Good.
Um but I'm looking at this White Sox team and I'm going to say this. Chris Getz watching him on stage and watching him answer fan questions. He's atrocious at that. Like, he is atrocious at speaking to the fans and the media. But and he's been a failure at it every other job. He's failed upwards. But I'm starting to see a vision of what he's trying to do with this organization.
Yeah, I definitely
Despite
think
Jerry.
it's there. Yeah.
This is despite Jerry.
I mean, he has to work within the constraints of Jerry, but I mean, what he's doing within those constraints, I mean, obviously some trades are going to work, some are not. That's natural whenever you're trading established assets for prospects. But, we've talked about the Garrett Crochet trade, and I think that's looking like a massive win for both ends. And then, you look at this offseason, they made a few more moves over this past week. They brought in, what was it, Austin Hayes, the outfielder,
Yeah.
who's, a solid dude. He's, a former All-Star, and he's really good against lefties. So that's going to give you another bat that's gonna put up, solid production. Hard to complain about that. And then today they took on salary. They actually took on salary with that Jordan Hicks trade and got themselves a pitching prospect with that. I mean, Jordan Hicks is really kind of a throw-in, but the Sox get another prospect, and they were able to eat some of the Red Sox dollars. So it's just kind of another marginal move that might have good implications for the future. Maybe you'll see that pitcher later this year. But yeah, I mean, overall with this offseason, Sir Anthony Dominguez, a really nice move. You have uh, Murakama, who's got a lot of fun potential there, a lot of power. I think that looking at some of the development of some of their guys like Kyle Teal and Edgar Caro and Braden Montgomery in the minors, and then the pitchers like Noah Schultz, and they got a lot of top prospects right now. So, if you hit on a few of those, then you're in pretty good shape. You're not going to hit on every single prospect, but you have the chance to hit on several. I think Kyle Teal's already shown some promise at the plate, and so is Edgar Caro, and obviously Colson Montgomery with the power that he has. It'll be interesting to see what he does in year two. But to your point, wrapping up this whole thought process is there is a vision. I do think that they have an end game here and it's moving in the right direction. And this year, I think they can be respectable for what they are. I'm not saying they're going to win 90 plus games and win a World Series, but I think they can take another notable leap. I think they can win 70 plus games. I really do. I don't think that division's very good. And the more talent that comes up, you'll have an opportunity to just get better at multiple areas as a team. I think one of my biggest concerns, just in general with them, is they still just don't prioritize defense very much. And it still seems like that's the case right now. Maybe down the road when other guys come up, but right now you just grow where you can. And I think they have a very promising pitching infrastructure. They have some promising bats. They've had an active offseason. So I think that's good that they have that to hang their hats on to get better.
Yeah. So The Austin Hayes, that was a really low risk signing. Was it 1 year, $6 million? Um, and the last couple seasons he hasn't had a full. Or sorry, um, let's see. You look at his full seasons, and he's like a a 2 to 3 WAR player. That's when he plays a full season. That's pretty good. I mean, for a guy that's 1 year, $6 million, and you're a frugal team, that gives you flexibility there. So you got Benintendi probably in left as your mostly full time guy. Austin Hayes probably shifts over to right. And is he a good defensive outfielder? No, but is he serviceable? Sure. And then you probably platoon in center field with uh Brooks Baldwin and Luis Angel Acuna as your center fielders. It's my guess. Anything could happen out there. Um, you got Mooney at first, Mydroff at second, Colston Montgomery at short, and Miguel Vargas placeholding at third. And I didn't realize he's so tall. He was standing like 10 feet from me. He's like 6'2". He's a tall guy.
Who, Vargas?
Yeah. Um, but you in your bullpen, you brought Sir Anthony Dominguez in. And I don't know where Jordan Hicks is going to fit in here. Sure, you could probably try him out as starter.
That has not been a fruitful endeavor for him in the majors.
No, it hasn't. But if you put him in the bullpen, does that create value for him? And Gary brought up a point. Is so really that money you took on was to bring in David Sandlin, who was the number 9 player in the Boston Red Sox farm system, who is a fireballer. What if Jordan Hicks in the bullpen plays fairly well? The White Sox are going to flip him.
Yes.
And then they're going to get all that money off of their books. And they basically got Sandlin for a guy that's a throwaway player in Gage Zeal. There's potential there. And if they don't, even if Jordan Hicks doesn't do anything, all right, you ate some money.
Yeah.
You're still getting that player. So I like that. Anthony Kay is going to be a mid-level starter for you, and you got him on basically $6 million a year for a starter. But looking a little closer at uh, their um, farm system, is you've got Braden Montgomery, who is still your number 1 player right as of right now in your farm system. That's probably going to change in June, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the kid you're going to draft number 1, he's going to move ahead of all those guys. I'm
Right.
guessing. But Braden Montgomery's currently your top player, and he's dropped in the farm system rankings in the top 100. But he's still your number 1 guy. But really quickly moving up is Caleb Bonnemer, who's
Yes.
Shortstop, third baseman, and he seems like he's probably going to be your guy that comes up at some point and replaces Vargas. That's why earlier I said Vargas is your placeholder at third base. He's really moving up. Hagen Smith seems to be. You look at Keith Law versus MLB's top 100. It's the same 5 guys. It's just where you spot them.
Mm-hmm.
So MLB has Braden Montgomery at 36, Keith Lawson at 30. Similar view. MLB has Noah Schultz at 49, Keith Law is a 95. So kind of split there. Uh, MLB has Caleb Bonham at 61, but um, Keith Law is him at 44. Hagen Smith, 72 in MLB, 58 on Keith Law, and Billy Carlson, 73 in MLB, and 66 on Keith Law. So very similar there. So you've got a good number of players in that top 100, five of the top 100, which is a good number. That's kind of, you want to be five plus in that top 100 range. So you've got some good players, and I don't know, where was David Sandlin in that top? Was he in the top 100? Probably not.
Don't think so.
But he's a guy that they really like, and then you're going to be adding another top 100 player probably when you draft. So you've really got, Noah Schultz, Hagen Smith, Tanner McDougal. Those are all guys that could come up this coming season, some point in the season, and play for you. Like
Yeah.
like they sneaky could be a solid team.
Yes. I mean, a hell lot better than they were the last few years, that's for sure.
I mean, and uh when we were talking, I said I would like for them to bring in a bat and another veteran pitcher. I still think there's plenty of veteran pitchers available. And I'm rethinking how I want to, look at that, is because you don't want to block. You've got so many young pitchers that you don't want to block. But now I'm thinking, who is a good veteran pitcher that can win you games, eat some innings, and can help teach these young players how to be a professional? And
Chris Bassett's still out there.
What's that?
Chris Bassett is still out there.
I've got two names in mind, and you might call me crazy, and they might not want to come here because they've got.
I know exactly who you're going to say.
Who am I going to say?
You're going to say Verlander and Scherzer.
I am saying Verlander and Scherzer.
I don't not going to laugh at you. I'd say why not?
I mean, they're both. They may want to go to somewhere. It's a contender, but does a contender necessarily want them at this point? They could come in here, get paid $10 to $15 million, and be the dude still. I mean, who in this rotation right now is a bigger dude than Verlander or Scherzer, even at their age?
Well, nobody right now, no.
I mean, Shane Smith in the first half of the season last year, sure. But other than that, no. I mean, they very well could go out there and be your opening day starter.
Mm-hmm.
I just, that seems like a good option and still keeps you under that $100 million threshold and does not block any of those young pitchers from coming up.
Right. No, I totally agree with you. I ain't laughing at you.
And, I would still love to add another bat here, but
They kind of did. With
Austin Hayes.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that is their bat.
yes.
I don't love that bat. I mean, even his was like his biggest power year, like 15 home runs.
Yeah, I mean, it's not I think he had a 20 home run year. It's not spectacular, but it's not bad either.
No. I mean, I don't know where else you put a guy unless he goes to DH. And then you lose those at bats for Caro. I think they're done adding bats for the most part.
Yeah.
But a pitcher still on the table. I mean, and honestly, like you look at this division, they very well could be a contender in this division.
Yeah, the division stinks. No one in that division has done jack. The Twins are awful. The Tigers have done absolutely nothing. And I think they might be on a downswing if they don't do anything else.
I mean, well, Gary was saying to me earlier, and it was something I was thinking as well, but I just want to give credit where credit is due, is they're already thinking of trading Scooble. And I don't know if you've seen the arbitration um, argument that they're having with him.
Yeah, I know that's going on, yes.
Like they offered him like 19 million and he wants 31. That's a big difference. And I th
It's
and
double.
they're not gonna negotiate. They're gonna go to arbitration. And I really think that he's gonna get that 31 million. And at that point, I think they're gonna already be leaning towards trading him. And the minute that the Tigers falter, I think they're gonna start to try to trade him. I don't think he lasts to All-Star break or the trade deadline. I think he's gonna be traded before that.
And he'll be traded to the Dodgers.
Can you imagine Scooble on the Dodgers?
God. You know what's going to happen.
Well, you look, they have by far and away the best major league roster in baseball, right?
Oh, yeah, no question.
They also have the number two minor league system.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It's unfair.
I know. I know. I know.
But I mean, one if Scooble is gone from this division, it's really you versus the Royals.
Yeah, nobody's good.
No, no. I mean,
Division is terrible.
somebody's gonna be decent. Like I don't know who. Somebody's gonna step up and be
Well,
decent. It happens
Cleveland
every year.
has that. Cleveland has that crazy devil magic.
Yeah, somebody always steps up in this division to be decent.
But I mean, their lineup outside of Ramirez is so bad, and yet they somehow find a way. I don't get it.
So I mean, but you know, there's nobody there, and you have to play all those teams a bunch of times. So that buoys your record. Like the White Sox have the opportunity. They've got to come out and win. And you know, something I was saying last night is, you know, the Cubs, one thing that they've really thought of and done well is to benefit your pitchers, you put a good defense behind them.
Right.
And I think that is going to be huge for the White Sox is how well do they play defensively?
Right.
You know, do you feel comfortable with Vargas, Montgomery, and Mydroth, you know, playing good defense in the infield? What about, I mean, I don't feel comfortable defensively with your outfield.
No, I mean now that Robert's gone, you certainly don't.
Yeah, Robert is a gold glove outfielder.
Right.
I don't know exactly who's going to play center field, whether it's Acuna or uh or Brooks. Like, I don't know, but Hayes is a mediocre outfielder. Benintendi is a mediocre outfielder. Um, they you're not going to get these all like Gold Glove performances out of the outfield. Can you just not get embarrassing plays? I think that's what you're trying to do is be mediocre and then be a decent infield to help some of these young players or the young pitchers.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, you know, but some of these moves are very Jerry move. The pickup, the option on Luis Robert, so you can trade him, so you don't have to pay the option. That's a Jerry move.
At least they've spent some of that money or most of it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so you did
But that
spend
you
a little
shouldn't have
money.
had to move him to have to spend that money because their payroll was already low to begin with.
I mean, if you had kept Robert, you feel a lot better about that outfield.
Sure, absolutely.
But then you're 20 million plus more dollars ahead, or you know where you are. But you spent $24 million over 2 years on Hicks, 20 million over 2 years for Sir Anthony Dominguez, 1 year $6 million for Hayes, 2 year $12 million for Kay, and 2 year $34 million for Mooney. And then here's the question now about him. What if he's good? Like, what if he has a great, first half of the season? Are you going to try to extend him?
I don't know.
I mean, he's going to, you're the White Sox. You don't pay more than $75 million for a player. Uh, so I just, is he just here these 2 years? Do you try to trade him next year by the All-Star break? I mean, it's a 2-year deal. It's a double-edged sword as 2-year
Yeah,
deals. If
part of
he's
me,
if he ends up not being good or disappointing, you're like, okay, he's just here for 2 years. But if it turns out is a positive, you're like, shit, I only have him for 2 years.
right. I I don't know. I mean, here's the thing is there's a very good chance that you play this year and you only play partial or don't play in 2027. So I think you think about that as well, right?
I don't know. Um, it's it's an interesting dilemma. Um, let's see. Um, bu- 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 I'm I'm trying to see like what they have in the minor league system as far as first baseman go.
Bring back Andrew Vaughn. Get him away from the Brewers so he could stop torturing us. Please. I beg.
Um, I mean, kid, do you move Colston Montgomery, try to make him into a first baseman so when you get Rock Chalowski come up, you can put
Maybe.
him at short?
Maybe.
The Rock. I don't even know what Rock Chalowski looks like. I've never looked at a picture.
I've seen some footage of him. I mean, he looks like a white baseball player.
He looks like a he looks like a Rock Chalowski. Rock Chalowski.
It's a perfect name.
That is a Chicago name, period.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are his stats? Because he's going to come up quick.
Yeah, he's going to be a very quick.
Mm,
I mean, a lot of these college players are coming up pretty fast these days. I mean, these elite ones.
uh, he had a 1200 or a 1190 OPS last year
That'll play.
with 23 home runs in 66 games, 353 batting average, 45 walks. So he had 45 walks to 30 strikeouts.
How many walks?
45 to
Oh,
30 strikeouts.
yeah, that's pretty good.
That's a good ratio.
Yeah, I'll say.
Tony Gwynn would be okay with that.
Yeah, I think so.
Uh yeah, so I mean the Mooney situation, he's probably not long for this city. Um you want to talk Cubs? You want to talk Blackhawks? What do you want to talk?
Cubs, don't know if I have much on them right now.
I have something that's Cubs adjacent. I like this for the Reds. I do not like it for the Cubs.
Yeah.
The Reds signed Suarez to a 1-year, $15 million contract. At that ballpark, he is just gonna smash baseballs.
Oh, yeah. And he's gonna smash us. 36 career homers against the Cubs.
I don't like that at all. The Reds are going to make this a division fight, aren't they?
I think so. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to win it, but that insane power they have in that rotation and they added another bat, they'll be in the mix. They'll absolutely be in the mix.
Um, and quickly, Keith Law and MLB put out their top 100. Um, MLB gave Keith Law gave the Cubs three players in their top 100: Kevin Alcantara, Moises Ballesteros, and Jefferson Rojas. The MLB gave the Cubs two players: Moises Ballesteros and Jackson Wiggins.
Hmm.
Though it's wildly different in there. Like the White Sox, it was the same five players. Some of them had some differing positions. Some of them were dead on. Other than Moises Ballesteros, where they agree he's like right in the middle of that top 100. Like why is Alcantara not in the top 100 for MLB? Do they consider him a major league player? Um, and then Jackson Wiggins being 58 on MLB and not in the top 100 for Keith Law. Jefferson Rojas being 79 for Keith Law and not anywhere in the top 100 for MLB. Man, they really view those Cubs prospects wildly different. And usually when you see a consensus, you feel more confident in what the player is going to be. I don't know how much confidence I have in a lot of these Cubs minor league players.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of a crap, and that's where you're going to rely on future drafts to kind of restock that farm a little bit.
Um, just like I don't know who on this Cubs minor league system I'm in love with. Uh,
Well, that's what happens when you guys graduate or they get traded away in the middle of a contending window.
yeah.
You just have to do a better job of restocking than the last time. Because after a while, that cupboard was dry.
I mean, do you have any tier one prospects in this roster or in this minor league system? No. I,
No.
I would say Moises Ballesteros is probably a second tier player. Um, what's Jackson Wiggins going to be?
I think there's some legit hope there, but you never know.
Um, what about Ethan Conrad?
Meh. I don't know.
Um, I mean, I think Kevin Alcantara is one of those players. It's like, we better find out soon what he is because he's what, 23 already?
He's in a weird position too. I mean, he's doesn't have a full-time spot per se, but I don't know. We'll see what happens this year because he still has an option. He might start down in AAA if you go with a roster of, say, and I typed this up yesterday. If you're going to go with right field starter, say Suzuki, utility Matt Shaw, and your fourth outfielder is one of Chas McCormick or uh, Dylan Carlson, then you would send Kevin Alcantara down if that were the case because you want him getting at bats every day, or at
I mean,
least most days.
he needs it.
Right.
Um, what are we thinking at this point about Triantos?
I mean, there's still promise there. I just, right now, you don't have a place for him on the MLB roster. Maybe he's part of a trade this season.
I just don't love that farm system at all.
No, it's not great. But again, when guys graduate, guys graduate.
And it's true. Um, but last thing I want to ask is I'm hearing rumblings about Matt Shaw being on the block. Do you feel that where there's smoke, there's fire? And if so, what's his value?
I think there's value there. I really do. I mean, he hit much better in the second half. He's trying to become more versatile. And I think that with the years of cost control, you can identify a team that could say, hey, we think that your skill set's good. We're willing to take you on. I mean, Boston has swung and missed at so many of those different options, veteran options. I was hoping Suarez would go to the Boston Red Sox, but they didn't. Went to the wrong Reds per se. But I mean, I think that there is a very small but not 100% not happening possibility that he gets moved, especially after you went out and got Bregman. I think that it would be more likely him getting moved than Nico, but I'm still not necessarily saying he's going to get moved.
Who replaces him as that super utility guy?
Well, I mean, if you trade him, depends on what you get back, right?
I mean, you would think that you would go for, players that are not major league ready. But I mean, I could be
Maybe,
wrong
maybe
there.
not. You never know. You never know. But I mean, the thing is, right now, if you were to do that utility type guy, I don't really know if you have a great option for that. For the infield, at least. In the outfield, you could bring somebody in, or I guess I don't really want to go to Chas McCormick or Dylan Carlson to rely on them being anything more than a fourth outfielder because their hitting the past few years hasn't been good. But I mean, that's a good question.
It's it does leave you asking a lot of questions.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of smoke, and I do feel like the reason there's smoke around the Cubs is one, people were asking about Nico because he was on the last year of his deal. Two, now people are asking about Matt Shaw because you signed Alex Bregman. So there's reason for teams to call Jed Hoyer. It's not necessarily Jed Hoyer is actively shopping him. They're going to listen. They're always going to listen. But I think a lot of it has to do with other teams calling him because of these circumstances I just mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't feel like this Cubs roster is done or should be done.
No, I think there's going to be one more move, and I don't think it's going to be huge, but it could be enough to at least move the needle a little bit more.
I mean, even Council was saying that, this roster lacks depth.
Sniff.
So I just wonder where they're thinking that depth is coming from. Is it going to be trades? Is it going to be free agent signing? I don't know.
I don't know.
There's still quite a few solid players left in free agency.
Yeah, there are some notable ones out there. I know people have tossed Mike Talkman around. I think his legs are kind of shot at this point, but I
If
don't
they
know.
if they weren't shot, the White Sox would have brought him back because he would have been a very cheap option that fans liked that could have filled in as an outfield you know, depth. But they didn't. They haven't.
Agreed.
Um I don't know. Like I don't know what fits in here. Um who's still available? Mm-mm-mm. Available. Here we go. Do not want Starling Marte. Mm, what does Reese Hoskins bring to this team? Nothing.
No, not that position.
Um, do you bring him Marcelo Zuna?
I don't really want him.
I don't either. Dave Robertson retired. There's quite a few pitchers left. Uh, oof. There's not a lot as far as position players.
Yeah, it's more arms.
Yeah. You could bring in 40-year-old Andrew McCutchen.
You could. You could.
Adam Frazier.
I would have loved that move like 2 or 3 years ago.
I know. I got your boy coming. Tommy Pham.
Oh yeah, let's go. Yeah, bring a little fire.
A little fire. That guy is just flamethrower. Uh, good old Gary Sanchez. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of arms left. Not a lot of position players.
Yeah.
That Nick Madrigal is still available.
I thought he signed with the Angels.
Spot Track's still showing him as available.
Huh.
Maybe they could have been delayed on it. I don't know. But pitchers, there's quite a few. Quite a few pitchers. All right, should we wrap this up with the little Blackhawks?
Yeah, I don't have much to say. Connor Bedard is looking better. Frank Nazar is looking better.
I
But
like.
yeah,
I mean, they're them on the same line.
yeah,
Growth there.
they ain't winning
Sam,
games though.
no, they are not. Sam Renzel is back. Um, Patrick Kane now the all-time
All-time
American
leader in
scorer.
American-born players. Yep, past Mike Modano. Good for him. Sucks that it wasn't in a Hawks sweater, but happy for him regardless.
Yeah. But yeah, this team really needs to start winning some games.
Well, maybe next year. They were
Maybe.
getting close to 500 again, and then they've lost a couple of block games.
I mean, the last couple games were pretty brutal.
The one against the Wild, that was a joke. They were up 3-0 and they blow that game. That was a joke. That was
Uh,
brutal.
uh, well, the Bulls kept it within 50.
Cool.
Um, I don't really have anything else to say.
Yeah, neither do I. Neither do I. Olympic break will be coming up here soon.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Rest up.
All
Rest
right.
up, take a shot of something, and get back cooking.
Take a shot of soup. Delicious soup.
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 Yummy.
Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. I want to thank everybody so much for listening. Please hit subscribe however you listen to podcasts, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, Spotify, etc. Share this podcast with your friends, how we grow the show. Follow us on social media at Swerski Sports, Facebook.com/Swerski Sports, SwerskiSports.com, or Swerski_sports_podcast on Instagram, or ShyFanPat2 for Alex on Twitter/X, or AlexanderJPatCreative.com for all the cool stuff that Alex does. And again, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, bear down.
Cubs win! What a lucky break! The good Lord wants the Cubs to win!
We thank Ditka and God for all they have provided.
Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win!
Oh, I don't want her. You can have her. She's a Packer fan. She can't.
looks like... Remember, New Yorkers, smoking crack is not legal on planes.
Bears 31 to -7.
The Bears. Oh, when the Bears go bearing down